The purpose of this video is primarily to go over annotated bibliographies. After reviewing the outline of the CCA, many of you are asking about these templates, which are created in order for you to be able to organize your ideas that you will later put into your product. However, I don't think I can solely just work on annotated bibliographies when there's a few things that I need to explain as we go along. So I'm going to do a quick overview as to what the CCA is. Then we'll get into the annotated bibliography. So you might need to skip forward to where I'm talking about, or if you can see it in the video, where I'm talking about these templates. So this CCA essentially is the idea that you are creating a resource that a social organization might use to help its members be able to function or to be able to produce whatever it may be. So in your outline, both on the newsfeed as well as in Unit 5, Activity 1, I've created a list of a couple of ideas. Your job is to choose one out of that list or even from your own head. So for the purposes of this video, and for the idea that I will be doing the research and taking you through what I've done so far, my topic that I've created is around the idea of structured activities. I started thinking about quarantine and lockdown that we had earlier in the year and how everything was canceled. And in my household, my children went from being very structured, from school to hockey to all of the activities that they participate in, that when those were suddenly taken away, that we went down to hardly any structure, that we tried to create structure within our household in completing work and even creating activities. So for the purposes of this project, that's what I'm looking into. What is the effect of too many structured activities on children's cognitive and emotional development? I don't think that's the best research question I could have come up with. I don't really like the words too many. However, what is the effect of many structured activities on children's cognitive and emotional development? There are many organizations that support home learning and even for educators to be able to do investigative research projects, etc. Even the idea of outdoor school, the idea of students creating their own learning opportunities. There's many different organizations and concepts, but for the purpose of this, I'm going to create my own. So if this was my topic, I've created my own organization. I've called it SLIP, Students Learning Independently and Proactively. This organization will support both parents and educators in creating opportunities for children to be an active participant in their own learning. And the whole purpose of this organization is to examine how many structured activities kids are in and how we can provide them opportunities. And that will be the focus of the organization, is what opportunities parents and even educators can take in order to support their students being self-directed learners. So that's my topic in my organization, and I want you to think about what's your topic and what organization already exists or would you like to create, and what are they trying to promote? How are they supporting the needs of members? Then when you've got that far, what I want you to do is, these normally would have been completed during each unit. However, the components of these templates can be used in your final product, so they are beneficial in order to go through. So that's where I'm going to head now, is now that you've seen my organization and my topic, I'm going to show you how to complete these templates. Each template relates to what the individual or what the unit was talking about. Unit number 2 was about individuals, this idea of launching or becoming a young adult and expressing yourself independently from your family. Unit number 3 was the idea of marriage and cohabitation and forming unions. And unit number 4 was about forming families and families with children. So let's look at this first template. The question that many of you had was, how do I do an annotation? What is that? We didn't do it. And you're absolutely correct. In your newsfeed, there will be a video that looks like this that will outline an annotated bibliography. What it is you may do this in college or university, or you may have done it in other courses where you are being asked to read through your research before you actually include it in a research product. So what I would do is it's basically an assessment of the sources that you have found. And as you watch through, an annotated bibliography has the APA citation of your source, and it includes 4 key things. It assesses the strengths and weaknesses of an article. It outlines what the article is about. It talks about the author just to see who they are or what they've done. And last but not least, the connection to your topic. So I actually used Google Docs, what I was just closing there. I used Google Docs and EasyBib within Google Docs to actually find my APA citation, so that when I included it in the document down here that you're about to see, that it was already formatted for me. So that's one key thing that you might want to do, is to find the way that you do citations and use that to include in your research. Let's go back up here for a quick second. So I'm going to open up unit number 2 template, and the whole goal was to go through and connect my topic and my organization to individuals, and also find sources that will connect those ideas all together. So a reminder, in an annotation, the APA citation goes there, and there's 4 points within my summary about that article that I'm going to put in there. I'm going to look for strengths and weaknesses, main idea, background to author, and relevance to your topic. You don't have to put them in that order. They can go in whatever order naturally fits for you. So here's my annotation here. Again, I found the website. I did some research and then took the article, put it in EasyBib, and got my citation, which I included right here. Down here is my annotation. What this is a summary of those 4 points about the article that I'm putting in there. So this first part, just looking through here, that's the summary. That's the main idea of what the article is all about. Then I looked at strengths and weaknesses here. And then down here, all researchers are connected to these universities, adding to the validity of research. So those are, that's looking up who the authors are. And this last part here is simply looking at how it connects to my research. So that's what an annotation is. It's finding the APA citation of your source and then reading through it, making notes for yourself, but then you're providing a justification as to why you're using that article. And I'm going to show you why I use this one in particular. When I looked up the idea of structured activities, I found this article here. I found this article here, which is actually, it references this one. However, at the bottom of this one, it references a study here. And so I actually found that study, and that's the one that I used. Okay. And then I found another one. So I just wanted to find a round out to 3 or 4 or 5. And I found this one here. So when I'm looking through the sources that I find, I'm going to record every single source that I find, and I can put that in a reference list just so that I have a list of all of the articles that I found. However, when I started looking through these, if I want to make sure that I have the best articles, when I'm looking through this one, this is somewhat, it's all over the place, and I don't have an author. I I do have an author, never mind that. But I don't really see it connected to an organization that I find to be reputable just because they say they have a 25-year anniversary. What is it that they're doing? Are they just collecting articles from different magazines? I'm not sure what this source has in terms of credibility. When I started looking through this one, I was like, wow, this is a teaching website. It's connected to Education Week. But what I found was this was a blog and that there was a room for comments. And that really wasn't what I was looking for. While it did have some information, and actually the article that I found later on was connected to it, and it has lots of studies here, I actually found they were referencing the article that I could find on my own. So I chose not to necessarily use this, but I would keep it as part of the research that I'm doing. So when you go through your sources, I want you to make sure that you're finding good, credible sources. And I use this one for my annotated list or annotations when I was filling out this form. Now, in addition to finding sources and creating just a little summary, I actually copy and pasted a lot of that in terms of the summary, and then I just reference the other 3 points in 1 or 2 sentences. It really doesn't need to be an excruciating process. Now down below, what we're going to do is we're going to connect the idea of our topic to the idea of individuals. And so what are the norms, roles, and institutions involved if I was to look at this topic in individuals? So the norms are that adults are in charge of children, and children are scheduled, that they often have a routine, or that parents tell them what they're supposed to be doing. The roles are that learners are children and adults are in charge of direction or even guidance. Social institutions that reinforce these ideas of scheduling and structuring activities for children are education, sports, clubs, and even families. Down below, you can choose a theory of all of the theories that we have done in each of the units. Which ones would you connect to this topic that you've chosen, or to the idea of how you're creating this organization, or how the organization that already exists, how it would examine, how this theory would examine your organization. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do, is to go through, find a topic, find an organization, or think about an organization that would support your topic, whatever it may be. And then you're going to start finding research, and filling in those annotations is simply putting in an APA reference and then summarizing those 4 points about each of your articles. This is the work that we're going to be doing on Monday and Tuesday. And the rest of the week is going to be used in putting all of that information into a product that you can hand in. One thing that I did want you to pay attention to, there's many different types of products. I'm going to list some exemplars. Most students choose slideshows because they tend to be the easiest. You can do whatever works best for you. And that your final product, whatever it may be, needs to have these components. When I'm marking it, I'm literally just looking for these and how well you accomplish these tasks within your product or your presentation. Okay, so if you have any questions about what you're supposed to be doing, make sure you reference the news feed. I've posted the schedule and lots of resources there. Keep coming back to Unit 5, Activity 1 to go through all of the steps that you need to do in order to complete this topic or to complete this assignment. And keep in touch with me. Let me know what you're struggling with. If you're finding resources, if you're finding articles, whatever it may be. Good luck, and let me know how I can help.